Alright, today we'll be making a wallet that's a little bit different compared to the other ones we did so far. And normally I also like to make builds where you don't need to get any extra fancy kind of hardware, but for this one I do believe it's worth it, and I'll also include some links in the description and the pattern where you can find the stuff. And with that out of the way, I would say let's see how we make this one. So first I assembled all my pieces and cut them from my leather. And for today's build I'm using 4-ounce Pueblo leather. You can also go a little bit thinner, but I think 4 ounce works quite well for this build. And then I'll first want to start by thinning out our card pockets. So I just cut my baseline with a groove cutter and then use my French skiver to take out the rest of the pocket. And French skivers do need some practice, and I think I've gotten quite good with them so far, especially if you keep them really sharp. But even then, as you can see, there's also another mishap from time to time, so I guess I just have to cut another one. And while we're already at skiving, I'll also take my skiving knife to thin out the edge for this little rectangular piece, which will make the top for our card slots. And then, after we got all those pieces beveled and burnished, I will also move on to our coin compartment. And first I'll want to form a sleeve for our spring lock or spring clasps. And here I just use my groove cutter again, so it folds over more easily. And then we hammer them down so they hold their shape better. And then we can already start with our first glue up. Here we want to use the small rectangle to put it in the top corner, and we also want to glue down the sleeves that we've just pressed down. And then we can already start punching and sewing together the small sleeves for our spring clasps. And I will also use my hole punch on the middle to make the cutout for the piece where our money clip will sit on later, and cut out the rest with my knife. And then we want to start assembling our card slots. So I will first start here at the top on the position marked on the pattern, and I will glue both the card slots on the outside and on the inside. And then when I mark my stitch line, I can just punch through and stitch both of them up in one stitch line. And then we'll just do the same thing for the second card slot, on both sides as well. And then we can start with our second round of glue ups, where I will glue the bottom card slot. And we also want to attach the other side of our coin compartment. And for the middle glue up here, I just use my ruler as a guideline, and then put the glue in there, wait for everything to dry, and glue it all together. Also, in case you have some glue sticking out, you can get these glue rubbers on Amazon for a few bucks, and they're super helpful for cases like this to clean up your work. And then we can start our stitch lines for the coin compartment and the card slots. And here, especially for the card slots, the pattern is made for 4mm stitching irons. So if you also use 4mm irons, you should have one of the teeth go exactly between each of the card slot. And this will definitely help a lot to make sure your wallet lasts a long time and it doesn't start fraying on the edge of your card slots. And after I've sewed up all of those pieces, then I can also do the last punchline that is here in the middle where our money clip will go later on. And I will also already start cleaning up the edges a little bit here. This is optional, but I prefer them a little bit more rounded. And once I'm happy with that, I will get to start my sanding, where as usual I work my way upwards from around 300 to 600 grit and then bevel and burnish everything until I'm happy with the result and the shine that I get. And then lastly, we only need to insert our money clip and then sew it in place, and we should be good to go. Then lastly, I only need to insert the spring clasp, and in my case both of the ends are secured with small metal pins, so I just take them out for now. And then we put the individual bars of the spring clasp through the sleeves that we stitched earlier. And then after we've put them through, we can insert the pins again, secure them in place, and we're done. And I'm really happy with this one turned out, and I hope you're also intrigued enough to check out the pattern on my store. Otherwise, I just hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any ideas for other patterns or things you would like to see in the future, just let me know down in the comments. And with that, I would say, see you next time.